policeman. So high.
On the subject of eating pork, you have read the Bible. Can you tell us to our viewers what does the Bible say about eating pork? Are there any references? What are the
Yes, in the books of Deuteronomy and Leviticus, there are food laws, and there's a specific reference that one should not eat the flesh of swine. In fact, in the book of Isaiah, this is mentioned as something quite horrible. It's thought to be something despicable to do that. Now, the question is, did Jesus and his original followers maintain the same food restrictions, what are known to be kosher laws to Jews even to this day? Mm-hmm. Some of our Christian friends think, well, all foods are clean, but that's only because they refer to a writing of Paul in his letter to the Romans, where he actually declares this, that all foods are clean. And someone then interpreted the saying of Jesus that's recorded in Mark's Gospel in chapter 7 as if Jesus said the same thing. But when one looks at the passage more closely, it's clear that Jesus was not saying you could eat any unclean thing. He was talking about the difference between the thing that goes into the body and the thing that comes out. What comes out, if it's bad, that's even worse than what some people are trying to avoid. So he was not then calling for the abandonment of all of the kosher and food laws. He was still maintaining the laws himself. In fact, it is shown that in the Acts of the Apostles, the disciple of Jesus, Peter, in chapter 11, says, "No, Lord, nothing unclean or impure has ever entered my mouth." So it shows that he was still maintaining the food laws. In chapter 15 of the same Acts of the Apostles, in verse number 29, they reach a decision in the council to limit the restrictions they're going to place on Gentile converts into Christianity. And they said, we're only going to restrict them 4 things. They didn't mention the pork, but it means that they themselves were living by the rest of the restrictions. But what they did mention as restrictions for the Gentiles included blood, which we know to be forbidden in our Sharia, and the dead meat, and the meat sacrificed to idols. So these are 3 of the 4. The other one is pork, which they didn't prohibit to the others, probably because they felt that the time was not right. If they prohibit that to the others, they might actually make that a barrier to them entering into the faith and coming under the grace that God is now allowing through Jesus Christ. But it means that while they are giving these limited laws to the others, they themselves are maintaining the full law. And this is what Matthew's gospel seems to emphasize in Matthew chapter 5, verse 17 to 21. He says that Matthew has it that Jesus said, "Do not think I've come to abolish the law and the prophets. I've come not to abolish, but to fulfill. Therefore, whoever will keep least one of these commandments and teach others to do the same will be called greatest in the kingdom of God. And whoever breaks one of these, even the smallest commandment, and teach others to do the same will be called least in the kingdom of heaven."
I see. Thank you for the detailed explanation, Imam.